So if your purpose for using a technology is that it's like to amplify your will, right? It can be used for good or evil, knowing that it could be used for good or evil. You still have your intention. They try to make it seem like having an agenda or an itinerary, like is a bad thing. Like you're supposed to be not have bias, and not use your to not use prejudice. And in the scientific method, you have to like use control standards, and so you have to already, that's already prejudice. You know what I mean? You're setting up, trying to repeat something with a slight variation or to an iteration, and then you look at the event, but you're looking at the event and with a control setting that you kept in place and some other things that you changed to try to figure out what happened. Right? You know what I mean? That's all it is data extraction. I don't know how it got to be such a fucking trippy word. Science is like only something like oh yeah, it goes back to that. Oh, you have some agenda. You have a fucking this. You have a that. Like, what's wrong with that? It could be used for good or evil. So it could be good or evil, or it could like. So, what if living machines are like the only machines that actually exist? And the way they exist is by talking, because they relate to you. That like the same way you are doing this expeditious form of agriculture. Agriculture is basically trying to use technology to amplify, maximize output. It was a Caterpillar, the one, not the kind that they buried into the earth halfway, or did some kind of charging the ground. This one was just lattices and pulleys, and it just maximized through centrifugal force, like a bicycle spoke or something. And it was like a huge post that was mounted in the ground with a hollow, curved out like oil that they like axle grease, so these like make a ball bearing so that something can spin freely. But then all this weight that was posted down, and it's like it's like a generator, just like any other thing. Like when they say we invented the wheel, they just didn't invent the wheel so that they can ride skateboards. It was like most of the shit. A lot of it was like water, managing like the flow of water, like for agriculture and catching wind and fucking. But this one using microbials that need a certain amount of zinc in the earth. Like too much zinc is not good for the plants, right? But the microbials who are creating the photons, the heat in the compost, right? From breaking down, right? They need a certain amount of zinc, so they put that together like it was a circuit, like zinc, copper. Like the Caterpillar has 4 rungs that are have zinc tips, or they're made out of copper, and they have zinc around the edges of it. And it turns out that there is actually a symbol. So it's an archetypal symbol, and the symbol is in the transference of the knowledge how to rig, how to set, to tap into, retrieve for a technological purpose, like amplifying an intention. And it's like rebuilding the body of Osiris. Oh, you don't like have to see and like, oh, there's Osiris to let you know he's real. You know what I mean? Like he has a prosthetic limb that would make him embarrassed to show up in today's society. They'd be like, oh, okay, you have a wooden phallus. But they couldn't like, you can't repair the mind to go all the way back to before you were ever indoctrinated and you're just innocent. You can go all the way up to that point, but then it's like, also, what is an indoctrination, and is indoctrination even good or a bad thing? Like, it's a polarity and a balance around, like, the kind of indoctrination that produce the best results. And so, like, it's all like, all that energy goes back into the symbol, goes back into the energy symbol. And there's people that want to be ignorant, that are some like your nemesis, that are, all they can do is say that, oh, he's crazy, he's a polytheist, and he's like, you trust all this, like, and they can flip sides too. So, like, and they say this as a Christian, then they turned out, you find out that they're actually into the devil, you know, like, and they're making you feel like bad for subscribing to like Abraham religion or something, but they got their shit from the roots magic. How do we know that there was magic in Egypt, but they didn't have a such thing as black magic before, or like there was no such thing? You know, they have a different meaning for what a demon is, or a daemon, right? There's like, it's like, knowledge is like, it's like a overcorrecting, like a pendulum shift, a paradoxical pendulum effect, right? Where things get so bad that we overcorrect and go in the complete opposite direction, right? But it's still overcorrecting, like, you know, like, if it's like, kind of makes it like forever. I mean, eventually it runs out of energy and like it'll stop, you know, but it's that effect going out and like kind of like recreating itself. And then there's a limited time that there's a built-in like sense of urgency, where we have less time to get the message to, you know, before the people don't have a vision, and the people without a vision will perish. You may or may not have the answer, or to what, you know, you may or may not be taking the right form of action, like, in order to transfer the important knowledge. It might not even turn out to be important at all. You might be the one that's tripping, that's lost it or something, you know what I mean? But it'll come all back around. I mean, it'll bring all its energy back around into it, because like Osiris said that he's gonna absorb or eat or something, like all these other gods that were like, these guys were I don't know, they were gonna make themselves like more, you know, higher, and then he was like, well, I'll just like take you back all into myself. That doesn't mean that you believe like he's, you know, oh, that's better than, like, you know, Jesus or something. Like, you're basically one of those, the bad people that worship Satan. No, it's like, you know, they're just those inconsistent characters that can just flip and are still not interested, even to some point that they can't acknowledge what just happened, but they're waiting like in line, like to receive a gift, and they feel like taking their little in a little bit of neurolinguistic programming that they learned in college, and some like they're gonna become mentalk mind takers, and like use suggestive psychology and just tell people like somebody else what is the requisite action to take to fix something. There's nothing that anybody has to do. You can go right now, actually, to, you know, like they say that the kingdom of heaven is here, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's easy to find. It's just people just don't choose to, right? It's just like, But you could be relating that to science, or you can be relating that to like spirituality, or you can be relating. The spirit is what? Oxygen. The spirit's like wine or sunlight, and in some references, it was the solar phallic energy, which is both semen and sunlight. That might sound gross and like necromancer, gross like type of shit, but I'm not talking about like anything dead. There is such thing as fucking science too. It already applies to them. They're just mature enough to relate it to you in a way that doesn't sound like you should be, I don't know, off consuming menstrual blood or something, or trying to make a philosopher's stone out of your own urine. It's not what they did, and in most cases, I think it's useful in homeopathy. Like they're passing trade secrets, and that's all they should be doing, right? Masons, right? You should be talking about like, you know, architecture or some how to split stones, or how to like. But there's a lot of different fields, so it's like they have like Masons in different fields, and they should when there's no power in it when it comes to be a mystery science religion. Those are just people that try to like, they're like pimping spirituality and take advantage of women or something. Those are the worst, right? The hands of the wicked we will never be rid of. You know what I mean? Those gotta be the worst, right?